What's up guys, it's Dre here at E3. Welcome to the new YouTube channel where we're going to be bringing you some of the everyday activities here at the shop, as well as some of the behind the scenes footage from some of the cars that we built. But we're going to start off with a build that I'm sure everyone has seen unless you've been sleeping under a rock, which is the Daily Driven Exotics custom Lamborghini Murcielago interior. So in this video, we're going to be showing you some of the behind the scenes footage on how that interior came to be.
They're not really special as far as supercars are concerned by today's standards. This is something that's more about a hand-built art piece. It really is like having an actual art piece instead of, you know, buying it for the performance. It's this mystique of this car being something that it's really not because it seems unobtainable. These cars are all kind of the same thing. You don't buy them because they're performance, they're investments in art pieces. That's what they are now. And to see it on the road is cool. Keep it alive and running is awesome. But eventually it's going to get to the point where these are all just sitting up in a garage. You know, people just hold on to them because trading masterpieces, that's how you invest. So even this car, I mean, everybody's like, oh, we gotta keep it original, blah, blah, whatever. It's not gonna matter. It's Damon's car. So that alone is going to keep any value that was lost just because of that. So it doesn't matter. He put his own artist touch on the car. That means something.
Well, think about just being a car guy. You know what I mean? When you go to a car show, everybody's got their boards up there. They want to show their build, see how it's been in pieces, show you that they did quality repairs, quality modifications, all that stuff. Being a vlogger and being able to actually have video evidence of the step-by-step process the whole entire way to be like, yeah, you know, these were quality modifications.
Lee, how many adjustments have you made since finishing the interior?
Oh, countless adjustments. We just keep going back and finding one little thing to just kind of get a little more perfect every single time.
Is it getting more challenging putting it back together?
No, it's not getting more challenging, but it makes me realize that we're very lucky that this was a good example of a Lamborghini before we ripped it apart, because a lot of these bolts, push-ins, bolts are usually missing push-ins are usually exploded, and they're a very specific size and specific depth. So if you have any missing hardware, it makes it even more challenging. So having the right hardware and having everything intact and still realizing how difficult it is to put this car together just makes me not want to put a bad one back together again, you know? It's done the right way. I don't think there's anything diminishing the value of this car unless you just don't like the color options now, you know? So we are kind of sick of doing diamonds, and we felt like the diamonds in the hexagons, especially in Lamborghinis and stuff, and the ones that we've been doing, are a little played out, a little tired, so we're always looking to do something new or incorporate, you know, some other historical things from Lamborghini into this one. So, you know, the Murcielago came to the SV package, and the SV had this cool little print in here. And what they did is they kind of laser etched, or however they decided to do it, cut through one layer of Alcantara and laminated another one behind it to give you that cool image. And a lot of manufacturers nowadays are starting to do some of that stuff with the new Porsche GT3s and things like that. So we wanted to try to mess around with it a little bit, and we thought it'd be great to bring this design into this car and give him some kind of other options that he wasn't able to get with the stock Murcielago. So we had found out a couple ways to do it and decided to, you know, to get this print done and this design. And then when we sent it out to a laser and we got it back, there was a couple little design flaws with it the first time, and there was a little bit too much of a gap between a couple of these things. So we decided to, you know, embrace it a little bit and incorporate some of the pleats in the seat design and try to, you know, give the seat a little bit more of a definition and something a little bit extra. So I think they came out pretty sweet, all things considered.
All right, Matt, so what's been the biggest issue with the patterns on this car?
It's not really an issue, but the seats are naturally angled towards the middle of the car, mostly to get you away from the wheel tubs, because they're actually kind of intrusive in the cabin. So if you're trying to line up the pattern as it goes all the way around the car, on the carpet mat it ends up going towards the console a little too much. So we're just deciding whether or not to make it go that far in or just try and average it out. Because you can really only tell if you're looking at it a specific way that the seats are actually tilted in, but that's how it is from the factory.
So on the handmade stuff, nothing's ever perfect?
No, and you can look at as many Lamborghini interiors as you want. The gaps and all of that stuff, the only way that they fit okay is like they use butyl, not even foam, to fill this gap. We can't use that because if any of that gets on the Alcantara, it's not coming off. So you can put foam in there, but it's still a hard-edged corner. So truthfully, you need to build on that edge at least with something, fiberglass, cardboard, maybe even just the pipe edge of something to give you a physical hard edge to meet up with that handle. Okay. But we're gonna go a different route, and we're gonna try and make everything fit with the way it is, which would be raising the console up a little bit. You won't even notice it, but trying to move that up while we're moving the dash down so that everything butts up the way they should without any of that other crap in there. And then once you bolt it all together, there's no movement because there's not foam squishing or anything like that. So this is gonna take a while.
So how much of a pain in the ass is this dash, or any dash?
But if we didn't care, you could throw this dash in 10 minutes, but all the gaps and everything look like crap. And when we switch materials, plus the way that they wrapped it, everything's a little bit thinner, and just throwing foam on it to fill gaps doesn't actually work because, you know, we're gonna be smashing things down, and you still have problems like the corner edges where they fold over. Lamborghini cuts and pie cuts them in the corners anyways, because there's no real way besides maybe getting, I don't know, a quarter inch past the corner to get it under flat without putting a cut in it so that the two pieces butt up. We're trying to hide all of that, which is adjusting the dash, the top and the lower part to be as close as possible together. Lamborghini used foam, but that doesn't really work that great with the Alcantara. You know, you can get them smashed together, but if it isn't like perfect pressure all the way across, you end up with bacony lines. So we're gonna do it hard mounted, which basically means we have to lower everything and make everything meet together the way it's supposed to. So this could take us hours to get the dash aligned right, because if you mess with the top and the lower's off now the angles change, then it doesn't meet up right with the center console. Then you have to change the center console height up and down, so on and so forth. So I mean, when you mess with one part, it changes 10 things down the line. So we just had most of the dash together and decided that we needed to start from the beginning and get it adjusted right, then start worrying about everything else to see if we can actually get this to fit way better than it ever did from Lamborghini. If that requires us sanding and cutting things down, then whatever, we're gonna do that. So at least that way, once it's in here and nice and tight, that's it. You know, it'll be perfect.
Rolls Royce back in the day, when they were like hand-tuned artists, building, shaping, hammering aluminum out on like a block and all that kind of stuff and getting that to fit like that, that's kind of what you're gonna deal with after that when you're making all those parts by hand. But when you're German company and you're engineering everything down to the thousandth of an inch, you know, those parts are going to fit regardless. But you're spending all the money on the front end, doing all the R&D stuff and making it more of like a machine type thing rather than a hand-built piece of art. And Italians love like the artistry kind of feel for it. Yeah, a whole bunch of different manufacturers with kit cars and stuff like that, and they were making the early 30s and 40s.
So how's it feel to see it all put together?
Exactly like we thought it would. Told you.